Okay, now I'm going to show you how to use Excel to plot out graphs that are a little bit messier than your average bear. So I'll start here, and let's say that we're being asked to plot not time versus distance, but for some reason we're being told to plot the inverse of the distance. So we're going to ask the way we're going to do this is we're going to use Excel to calculate this for us, and once we have a table of data for these values, then it's just back to telling Excel what to do. So let's see what that looks like. So here's our values here. So I'm going to type in here just 1 over distance for label purposes. 1 divided by 0, I think I'll avoid that. In the meantime, I'm going to build this table right here. So this number is supposed to be 1 over that. So I'm not using a calculator, I'm using a spreadsheet. So I'll say click equals 1 divided by click. And I want click to be equal to 1 divided by click. And I want click to be equal to 1 divided by this, and I want this to be equal to 1 divided by that, etc., etc., etc. And I'm going to copy that idea again and again and again. So I now have 2 columns of data. I've got this column here, and I've got this column here. I'm going to avoid this right here, so I'm going to highlight these. And I'm going to control click and grab these, recognizing that whatever is in the far left column is going to plot horizontally. So now I'll say insert, and I will insert my scatter plot right there. Starting to look like a graph. Let's make it look a little bit better like a graph. Let's click on here. Let's make it look like graph paper. So I'll right click here, I'll right click here, I'll right click here. There we go, and you can see these gray lines appear. We'll right click here, and I'm actually not going to ask for a line of best fit on this right now, just because that's a little bit muddy for us. And this we'll call it the inverse. Great, same thing, we need to make sure that we're adding things, our axis. That's distance to the -1, and the way we do that is we do distance, or we go 1 over distance, and that's going to be kilometers to the -1. That's what the units are. And this right here is still time. And it was still time, and it was in minutes. There we go. So we're going to leave this. If we're pressed to draw a line of best fit, for this we're going to hand draw a line of best fit. So what happens if we're asked to calculate something a little bit messier than the inverse? Alright, let's try that. So let's pick a new thing just so you can see what I'm talking about. So let's say we're being asked to plot something here that's kind of regular, but over here, instead of just asking for the inverse, we're going to be asked to calculate the log of this particular thing, and we'll even say the log base e of that particular value. So again, the hard way is to go through and take all the data and calculate log e, write all the data down in a table, graph it, and then calculate the slope and line of best fit and the slope and all that wonderful stuff. Or we can use Excel and tell it how to do that, tell it to do all of the crunching for us. So that's what this looks like. So I'm going to take this graph here, just move it away. I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to say log e of whatever. So how do we do that? Well, on a computer, that's written as ln. Returns the natural logarithm of a number. So of this number right here, oh, poo head. So we're going to go equals log open bracket this close bracket. So we want this to be equal to the ln bracket of this close bracket, and we want to do that again and again and again and again and again. So now we have this data right here, and we have this data right here. So if we need to plot that relationship, then that's exactly what we do. We highlight this, control click and drag this. We're going to say insert. We're going to ask for our scatter plot. So there's our scatter plot there. And we're going to say okie dokie. And we're going to gussy this thing up again. We'll dress this up with an appropriate title. We'll insert our axes, our title here, and we've got this particular relationship here, and notice that when I click this it says it's basically the purple stuff here, which is along the bottom, and the log base E stuff here. So incidentally, it really bothers me that this stuff isn't properly labeled. So I'll make a minor axis out of this, and I'll also add down here. I'll put some minor axes here, and I really hope I can click and drag it. No, I can't. Okay, so there's our new data.